Just when Rishi Sunak may have been breathing a sigh of relief, it just gets worse and worse and worse for him. But in a way, there's nothing new here. There's always been donors to political parties who have been dodgy. You only have to go back to Lloyd George and all that sort of cash for honours, which led to the legislation in 1925, the Prevention of Abuses, the Honours Act, in an attempt to sort out the Maundy Gregory case, and Harold Wilson, the Macintosh man, what's his name, Joseph Kagan, who got a knighthood, made huge financial contribution. I don't think he was the Macintosh man. There was another one. Oh, Tony Blair, Bernie Ecclestone. There's always been dodginess connected to power. It's how the two things are connected. But I think so I think and Baroness Moan, of course. But the Hester thing, I think, will blow over, and I think Sunak is absolutely wrong to keep the money, but that's what he's determined to do, and I suspect he thinks it can't get any worse. Well, another week, another tolling of the bell of doom. Ask not for whom the bell tolls; it tolls for thee. And if you go back to look at that little poem in its context, it's all about Brexit and the failure of Brexit. No man is an island. We are all clods. We're all part of the same continent, and we have tried to slip away and to run it on our own, and we are failing and failing and failing, and it all goes back, I think, to that one thing. So when we take the two big veterans of the army who've been in the government, there's the veteran minister himself, Johnny Mercer, now in trouble because he won't reveal his sources, and he's being threatened by Oliver Glasgow, or no, I think he told Oliver Glasgow that that he wouldn't be threatened, and Haddon Cave, and all these various people, the legal bigwigs are telling him that if he doesn't reveal these names of the people who have told him that there were problems with Afghanistan, and that multiple officers had talked to him about allegations of murder and a cover-up, I think, there's danger there for Johnny Mercer, and I suspect the legal system is looking for a scalp, and then there's Heappey, who is resigning this month as a minister, and he's resigning from the front bench and from House of Parliament at the end of this parliamentary session. That brings the number of resignations to 62, which is still less than the amount of MPs who left the major government in 1997, which was 75. But there are parallels, and if Sunak is going to play the long game and try to keep going until November, there will be many more resignations before that happens. I think the chances are that we will end up with the November election. I don't think it's going to be in May, and I think I think actually, if Sunak could have his way, it would be on a gentleman's agreement starting on the 2nd of January, because it's now about hanging on to the bitter end. He has to recognize the reality. There is no way that he can succeed. No way at all. And trust is lost. And trust, I think, lies at the heart of this Frank Hester issue as well. It's about a lack of trust between the party and the donors and the electorate. It's about a lack of trust between ministers and the legal system. And it goes both ways, as I think the judge is trying to establish with Johnny Mercer. It goes both ways. And Lord Justice Charles Haddon Cave, the inquiry chairman, talks of potentially serious consequences if Johnny Mercer does not spill the beans. Why should he? He gave his word. And I suppose, he could be martyred over that, and the legal system be rubbing its hands with joy at the thought of that. How can somebody give his word to one group and somebody else in the government give their word and it means nothing? And that's the issue. I'm quite sure the legal system would be delighted to make an example of Johnny Mercer in exactly the same way as the government has tried to make an example of the inadequacy, the failure of the Supreme Court. You take the judges on at your own risk, and it doesn't matter whether you're a private individual or whether you are a government. In the end, there should be two pillars of our society: the government and the legal system. And then actually there should be the church as well. We are ruining all three of these. All three of them. And why? Because we have a Home Office out of control. And it's been out of control since Theresa May. I cannot believe that I sat and watched Theresa May preening herself in a little green dress while Keir Starmer praised her commitment to parliamentary life. I think she set the standard for parliamentary life at the moment, and that standard is contempt for people's freedom and an obsession with control. That isn't Parliament. That's some sort of tyrannous ideology, and we see that played out even more so in Moscow at the moment. I think we're going to avoid an absolute tyranny, but we have definitely got a ministerial system utterly out of control and utterly intent on nastiness. And now we've got a legal system which is intent on showing the ministry how nasty it can be. When will there come a point where these powers will recognize the limits of their authority and patch up and shake hands? I don't know. I don't think anything will happen. I don't think there will be any positivity until after the next election, and even then, I think our parliamentary system is so badly in need of repair, so badly in need.